Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances, all wish to share Prabhupada. Welcome devotees to our morning Bhagavatam class. This morning we will be discussing from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 4. We're going to be covering a bunch of verses, but thank God it's Vishnugada Prabhu that's covering. All glories to Vishnugada Prabhu. He'll be covering chapter 4, verses 87 to 104. And we're very happy to have Vishnugada Prabhu with us. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha,
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha,
Kripasindubevacha,
Kripasindhubhyevacha,
Patitanam
Patitanam
Pavanebhyo,
Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo Namo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namaha.
Namo Namaha.
And
Hare
Prabhu,
Krishna.
I have apology. I
Oh,
just
don't
saw
worry about
your
it.
email. I'm
Don't
so
worry about
sorry.
it.
Like 10 seconds ago is when I saw it.
Just a preference, that's all.
In the
Different mood,
future,
different mood.
Prabhu. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. And it's all yours, Prabhu.
Parama Karuna Pahu Dvijana Nitai Gaurachandra
Parama Karuna Bahu Dvijana Nitai Gaura Chandra.
I encourage anybody who can to unmute so we can have a back and forth. If unless you can't, but that's okay. Parama Karuna Pahu Dvijana Nitai Gaurachandra
Parama Karuna Bahu Dvijana Nitai Gaura Chandra.
Shabhavata Shar Shiramani Kevala Ananda Kanda
Saba Avatar Yara Shiromani Kevala Ananda Kanda.
Bhaja Bhaja Bhai Chaitanya Nitai Sudridha Vishwashakari
Bajo Bajo Bhai Chaitanya Nitai Sudrita Vishwasa Kori.
Vishaya Chadiya Serase Majia Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari
Vishaya Chadiya Serase Majia Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari.
Dekha Ore Bhai Bhuvane Nai Emono Dayala Data
Dekho re bai Tribhuvane nai Emona doyalata.
Pashupaki Jure Ashana vidare shuni jar gunagata.
Pachupaki
Ashupakijure
jure, Pasana
Pasanamabhidare
vidare, Suni
Shuni
Chandra Gunagata.
Tangshare majia rohili podia shepode nohilo asha.
Samsare
Samsare
Majia,
Majia
Rohili
Ruhili
Poria,
Poria
Sepade
Sepane
Nahilo Asha.
Nakiluasa
Apana koromo bhunjaye shamana kahaye lochandasa.
Apana
Apana Karama
Gunjaye
Punjaye
Samana,
Shamana
Kahoye
Kahoe
Lochana
Luchana
Dasa.
Dasa
Parama karuna pahu dvijana nitai gaurachandra.
Parama Karuna
Paramakaruna
Pahudui Jana
Chandra
Nitai Gaura Chandra.
Shabavatar Shar Shiramani Kevala Ananda Kanda.
Sabhavata
Sabhavata
Shara Shiromani
Sarashiromani
Kevala
Kevala
Ananda
Ananda
Kanda.
Kanta
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paribrajak Acharya Ashtotara Rashi Srimad Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paribrajak Acharya Ashtotara Rashi Srimad Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai.
Jai.
ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai.
Jai.
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री बाशादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय.
Jai.
राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की जय.
Jai.
वृंदावन धाम की जय.
Jai.
नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय.
Jai.
गंगा माई की जय.
Jai.
पुना माई की जय.
Jai.
तुलसी देवी की जय.
Jai.
भक्ति देवी की जय.
Jai.
समवेता भक्तवृंद की जय.
Jai.
गौर प्रेम आनंदे.
Hari Hari Bol.
Boo
Glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
All
Krishna
glory to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga Hari Hari Bol.
Krishna.
Jai
Nama
Hare
Om
Krishna
Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Dishatharine. Parikshit Prabhu, if you want to read the translation to that chant, yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you.
The two lords, Nitai Gaurachandra, are very merciful. They are, let me move this away. They are the essence of all incarnations. The specific significance of these incarnations is that they introduce the process of chanting and dancing that is simply joyful. My dear brother, I request that you just worship Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda with firm conviction and faith. If one wants to be Krishna conscious by this process, one has to give up his engagement in sense gratification. One simply has to chant Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, without any motive. My dear brother, just try and examine this. Within the three worlds, there is no one like Lord Chaitanya or Lord Nityananda. Their merciful qualities are so great that upon hearing them, even the birds and the beasts cry and stones melt. But Lochana Das regrets that I am entrapped by sense gratification. Since I have no attraction for the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, then Yamaraj, the superintendent of death, is punishing me by not allowing me to be attracted by this movement. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
We're studying and discussing and reading Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, 4th chapter, 87th verse, which discusses the internal reasons for Lord Chaitanya's appearance. These verses are an explanation of the 5th verse of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So I don't know who's in charge of the board, in charge of
I
the
am.
screen. Okay.
I am.
Can we go back to the first, a first chapter, 5th verse, just to review that, because that's what these verses are explaining.
First chapter
5th verse, yeah. Just to
of Adi
review.
Lila. Okay.
Yeah.
Adi Lila, chapter 1, verse 5.
There it is. I think this is
You want a
Sanskrit.
translation?
I'll just let's read this. It's interesting that Srila Prabhupada, when he gave classes on Chaitanya Charitamrita and other times, he would often quote this and other verses here in this first several verses from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Although it's kind of a long verse, but he had it right there at his fingertips. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Ladini Shaktir Asmad. You say.
Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriti Ladini Shakti Asmad.
Radha, I'd like everybody to respond if they can, including, it's nice, you did a good job, but if
Please
everybody,
unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself.
if you can, if you're at work, you may not want to do that, but that's okay. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Ladini Shaktir Asmat.
Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriti Ladini Shakti Asmad.
That word is Ladini, long A. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Ladini Shaktir Asmad.
Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriti Ladini Shakti Asmad.
Ekat Manav Api Bhuvi Pura Deha Bhedam Gatau Tau.
Ekanamanatma Pi Bhuvi Pura Deha Bhedam Gatau Tau.
Ekat Manav Api Bhuvi Pura Deha Bhedam Gatau Tau.
Ekatmana Api Bhuvi Pura Deha Bhedam Gatau Tau.
Chetannakyam Prakatam Adhuna Dhadvayam Chaikyam Aptam.
Chaitanyakyam Prakatam Adhuna Dhadvayam Chaikyam Aptam.
Chaitanyakyam Prakatam Adhuna Tadvayam Chaikyam Aptam.
Chaitanyakyam Prakatam Adhuna Tadvayam Chaikyam Aptam.
Radha Bhava Duti Suvalitam Naomi Krishna Swarupam.
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 Good, yes. So then the synonyms Radha, Srimati Radharani, Krishna of Lord Krishna, Pranaya of love, Vikriti, the transformation, Hladini Shakti, the pleasure potency, asmad, from this, ekatmana, both the same in identity, api, although, bhuvi, on the earth. So usually bhu means of the earth, right? Bhu, like we say, bhakti vedanta, bhutale. Yeah, pura, formerly, deha beda, separate forms, like achintya bheda, gatao, obtained, tao, those two, Chaitanyakam, known as Sri Chaitanya, Prakatam, manifest, Adhuna, now, Tadvayam, the two of them, Cha and Aikyam, unity, Aptam, obtained, Radha, of Srimati Radharani, Bhava, mood, duty, luster, Suvalitang, who is adorned with Naomi, I offer my obeisances, Krishna Swarupam, to him who is identical with Sri Krishna. So this is one of the seed verses of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So I'll say the translation, sentence by sentence or phrase by phrase, and you can repeat. The loving affairs of Radha and Krishna.
The loving affairs
of Radha
of
and
Sri
Krishna.
Radha and Krishna.
Oh, I forgot the Sri. Yeah, thank you. The loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna.
The loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna
Are transcendental manifestations of the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency.
Are transcendental manifestations of the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency.
Although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity,
Although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity,
previously they separated themselves.
Previously, they separated themselves.
Now these two transcendental identities
these two transcendental identities
have again united in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya.
Have again
united in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya.
I bow down to him.
I bow down
to him.
Who has manifested himself.
Who has manifested himself
with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani.
With the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani.
Although he is Krishna himself.
Although he is Krishna himself.
Thank you. So this is the verse that's being explained in this, one of the verses, there's two verses here. One of the verses that's being explained here in the 4th chapter that we're reading. So we'll go back to that, the verse that we're on.
Okay.
Which is 1:487.
See if I can do a quick chapter 4. Yep.
Yes. Are there any Bengali speaking devotees on the call?
I don't know if Radhapat Prabhu is on, because I think he knows Bengali, I think.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble
There he is.
Yes, Mataji, because right now I'm in Tucson, so I'm just listening. I'm not reading anything. So
okay.
No problem, Prabhu. It's okay. Didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Yeah, but I'm just I'm listening. All this, class is good.
Yes. He doesn't get the same.
So
I can speak, but I can read a little bit, but I'm not a Bengali.
Oh, you don't you can say you don't want to say the Bengali here?
No, I can speak Bengali, but I'm not my mother tongue is not Bengali. I grew up in Calcutta.
Yeah. So then you can read the verses.
Yeah, I can.
That would be great. So we can hear the genuine Bengali sound.
Okay, you have to just give me 1 minute. Maybe you can continue. I'll be back in just 1 minute.
Okay, I'll just read this first one and I'll turn it over to you, the next one, okay?
Thank you.
Oh, Krishna. So, Krishna Vancha Purti Rupa Kare Aradhane Ateva Radhika Nam Purane Vakhane. Her worship, Aradhana, consists of fulfilling the desires of Lord Krishna. Therefore, the Puranas call her Radhika. Purport. The name Radha is derived from the root word Aradhana, which means worship. The personality who excels all in worshiping Krishna may therefore be called Radhika, the greatest servitor. Om Jnanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitang Jena Bhutale Shayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Shapadantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I'd like to first ask permission and blessings from all devotees, particularly those who are senior by age or advancement in Krishna consciousness.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Just a brief comment here. We know this the word aradhana. Aradhana means worship. We're familiar with this in different ways. There's the famous verse, Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnu Aradhana Param. This is a discussion between Lord Shiva and his wife, Parvati. So he's saying, Aradhananam Sarvesham, of all kinds of aradhana, all kinds of worship, Vishnu Aradhana, the worship of Vishnu Aradhana, Param, is best. Tasmat Parataram Devi, and even better than worship of Vishnu, Devi. Oh, well, this is he's addressing his wife. Tadyanam Samarchanam is to worship those things related to Vishnu, but particularly his devotees. So the same word aradhana is there. So Srila Prabhupada repeatedly emphasizes for us and for others that the relationship between the gopis and Lord Krishna, and particularly Srimati Radharani and Lord Krishna, is not a mundane relationship. Sometimes we see that people mistake it in drama, dance, or painting, portraying it as some kind of licentious or forbidden loving affair. But actually, even though it might appear that way from a person who has no knowledge, the gopis and particularly Srimati Radharani's service for Lord Krishna is, as mentioned here, just to her worship is to please his desires 100%. And the word used here is Krishna Vancha, the desire of Lord Krishna. That's her worship, satisfy that desire. In the material world, where we have the tendency, big or small, to think that we're the center of worship, and all activities in our circle or in our city or our country or everywhere should be directed to satisfy our senses and our desires. That's called lust. The interaction and relationship between Srimati Radharani and Lord Krishna, it may appear like lust, but it's different. It's like iron in the material world, is that material lust is compared to the gold of the relationship between Srimati Radharani and Lord Krishna. Her lust is lust not for her own senses, but to satisfy Krishna's senses. So that's purifying. When we try to satisfy our own senses and we go down a very slippery slope, that leads to all kinds of disturbances. It's mentioned, Lord Krishna mentions that in the Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter. Dhyayato vishayam pumsam sangasteshu pajayate sangatsan jayate kama kama krodha vijayate. This is the verse that when one contemplates the objects of the senses, thinking how I'm going to get satisfied by them, then attachment, lust, kama, then krodha, anger, all these things happen one thing after another, and then one falls down into a miserable condition. So on the other hand, if we practice following the regulative principles of freedom, of engaging in, instead of trying to satisfy our senses, but to satisfy Krishna's senses, in the beginning, it may feel a little bit unusual and difficult, but ultimately it results in transcendental happiness, unlimited transcendental happiness. That's mentioned by Lord Rishabdev. He says, Nayam deho deha bhajan riloke kastam kaman ahati bhujange. He's telling his sons, he's instructing his 100 sons that, you know, a father can say this to their sons. Don't be like an animal. He says, don't live like an animal, just trying to satisfy your lusty desires, but engage in tapodivyam, transcendental austerity. Tapodivyam. By doing so, you'll have brahmasokyam twanantam, unlimited transcendental happiness. So giving up a little bit of material happiness or so-called material happiness for the pleasure of Krishna is the principle at work that Srimati Radharani is the topmost example for all of us. Therefore, her name is, as mentioned here, is Radhika. It's the verses there that Prabhupada often quotes. Atmendriya priti vancha tare bole kam, Krishnendriya priti icha dhare prem nam. The desire to satisfy our own senses, that's called lust, kam. Krishnendriya priti, the desire to satisfy Krishna's senses, that's called prema, it's love. So Srimati Radharani is the perfection of that. And therefore, that verse we quoted, Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnu aradhana param tasmat parataram devi tadiyanam samarchanam. We also worship, tadiyanam means also worshiping Srimati Radharani when we worship Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Because she is very kind. And then even if we're not very good, if she said, if somehow we get the attention and favor of Srimati Radharani, Krishna has to accept. Srila Prabhupada commented on that, you know, just if you want something, if you go, there's a husband and a wife, and you get the wife to agree, then the husband has to go along. That's all. All right. Next verse. Prabhu, are you there?
Yes,
This is the next one.
Yes. Oh, this is Sanskrit, I think. Anayarudhito nunam Bhagavan Haririshwara yanno vihaya govinda pritoyam anayadraha. Truly, the personality of God has been worshipped by her. Therefore, Lord Govinda, being pleased, has brought her to a lonely spot, leaving us all behind. Purport. This text is from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:30-28. This is at the time of the Rasa dance. Next. This is Bengali. Prabhu.
yes.
Yes?
My humble senses to everybody on this call, and I apologize if I make any mistakes. I'll try. अतएव सर्व पूज्य परम देवता Sarva Palika Sarva Jagatera Mata. Hare
Thank you.
अतएव सर्व पूज्य परम देवता सर्व पालिका सर्व जगतेर माता.
Great. Therefore, Radha is Parama Devata, the supreme goddess, and she is worshipable for everyone. Tadiyanam Samachanam. She is the protectress of all, and she is the mother of the entire universe. So how is that she's the mother of the entire universe? Oftentimes you hear that Durga is the mother of the universe. So how does that work? What do you say?
But Srimati Radharani's expansion is Durga or no?
Her expansion is
Isn't it?
Lakshmi, and Lakshmi's expansion is Durga.
Lakshmi.
Yeah. So
They go
she's the
together.
source of Durga. So she's the true mother of the entire universe. Next verse. Prabhu.
Yes. सर्वलक्ष्मी शब्द पूर्वे करियाछि व्याख्यान सर्वलक्ष्मी गणेर तिह হয় अधिष्ठान.
Very nice. I have already explained the meaning of Sarva Lakshmi. Or if you say Bengali, Sarva Lakshmi. Radha is the original source of all the goddesses of fortune. Next verse.
কিংবা সর্বলক্ষ্মী কৃষ্ণের ষড়বিধ ঐশ্বর্য তার অধিষ্ঠাত্রী শক্তি সর্বশক্তি বর্জ.
Or Sarva Lakshmi indicates that she fully represents the 6 opulences of Krishna. Therefore, she is the supreme energy of Lord Krishna. You see this different connotation of Lakshmi being the opulences of Krishna. Now, usually we say that's referred to as when Lord Krishna is called Bhagavan, the 6 opulences there. So here, this verse, Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami is saying that Srimati Radharani is representing all those 6 opulences as the supreme energy of Lord Krishna. And you might know those opulences which qualify Lord Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. They're mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita in the early part. Srila Prabhupada mentions there that they're itemized by Parashar Muni, was also the father of Vyasdev. They're also mentioned in the from him in the Vishnu Purana. Aishvaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashasha shriya jnana vairagyayaschhapi sannam iti bhaga gana. So we should all know those 6 opulences that Lord Krishna has in full, more than anyone else, which makes him, or helps us to understand that he is the supreme person. So what is that? Aishvaryasya means what? Aishvaryasya, what is that?
Means opulences.
Yeah, wealth particularly. Aishvaryasya magrasya, full. Yeah. Viryasya, what is Viryasya? What is Viryasya?
Virya is Shakti, the power, the strength.
Strength. Virya, yasha. What is yasha?
What is that? It is a famous thing. What is
He's
it?
very famous. Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
Ebe Jash Gushu Tribhuvan.
Yes,
The fame. Yeah. Yasha. Shriya.
Sriya, that's also all the opulences, Sriya.
Yeah, but it's in this case beauty.
Beauty, yes, right.
Jnana, well, that's easy. Knowledge.
Knowledge,
Vairagya, yes. And Vairagya. All these
renunciation.
renunciation. These are the six
Mm.
qualities that Lord Krishna has in full more than anyone else, which qualifies him as God. This is some, very important verse, and it's manifested here. Those supreme opulences, as manifested, as represented by here, Srimati Radharani. She's the supreme energy of Lord Krishna. Yeah. Okay, next. Yes,
সর্ব
Prabhu.
সৌন্দর্য কান্তি বৈশ এ যাহাতে সর্বলক্ষী গণের শোভা হয় যাহা হইতে।
The word Sarvakanti indicates that all beauty and luster rest in her body. All the Lakshmis derive their beauty from her. Oh, that's where they get it. Okay. Next.
Mhm. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Because I'm on my phone. Okay, so
Oh, okay.
কিবা কান্তি শব্দে কৃষ্ণের সব ইচ্ছা কহে কৃষ্ণের সকল বাঞ্ছা রাধাতেই রহে।
Kanti may also mean all the desires of Lord Krishna. All the desires of Lord Krishna rest in Srimati Radharani. Next.
Mm.
রাধিকা করেন কৃষ্ণের বাঞ্ছিত পূরণ সর্বকান্তি শব্দের এই অর্থ বিবরণ।
Srimati Radhika fulfills all the desires of Lord Krishna. This is the meaning of Sarvakanti. So Sarvakanti being a name of Lord Srimati Radharani. Wow, Sarvakanti. Next.
জগৎ জগৎমোহন কৃষ্ণ তাহার মোহিনী অতএব সমস্তের পরা ঠাকুরানী।
Lord Krishna enchants the world, but Sri Radha enchants even him. Therefore, she is the supreme goddess of all. You know another name for Srimati Radharani, which reflects this. You probably know.
Madan Mohan Mohini.
Yes. Madan
Mm.
Mohan Mohini. Got it. Similar names here.
Mm.
Next verse.
রাধা পূর্ণ শক্তি কৃষ্ণ পূর্ণ শক্তিমান দুই বস্তু ভেদ নাই শাস্ত্র পরমান।
Sri Radha is the full power, and Lord Krishna is the possessor of the full power. The two are not different, as evidenced by the revealed scriptures. Just like the sun and the sun rays, the power and the powerful, they're intimately connected. They can't be separated. So Krishna is the powerful, and Srimati Radharani is the full manifestation of that power. I don't know, probably Parikit Prabhu remembers during the 1970s, there was a movement for black power. Remember this?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But they never asked for black powerful. Krishna is the Shyama powerful.
They would
Shyama
have to go with
powerful,
that
and
then.
Srimati Radharani is the golden power. Yeah. Okay. 497.
মৃগমদ তার গন্ধ জয়ছে অবিচ্ছেদ অগ্নি জ্বালাতে জয়ছে কভু নাহি ভেদ।
They are indeed the same, just as musk and its scent are inseparable. or as fire and its heat are none different.
Hmm.
রাধা কৃষ্ণ এইছে সদা একই স্বরূপ লীলা রস আস্বাদিতে ধরে দুই রূপ
Thus, Radha and Lord Krishna are one, yet they have taken two forms. Why? To enjoy the mellows of pastimes. So this is the explanation, a little further explanation of the verse, the number 5 that we read in the beginning. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
প্রেম ভক্তি শিখাইতে আপনে অবতরী রাধা ভাব কান্তি দুই অঙ্গীকার করি শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য রূপে কইল অবতার এই তো পঞ্চম শ্লোকের অর্থ পরচার
To promulgate prema bhakti, devotional service and love of Godhead, Krishna appeared as Sri Chaitanya with the mood and complexion of Sri Radha. Thus, I have explained the meaning of the 5th verse. Yeah.
That's the one that we read earlier, right?
Yes. So
Okay,
so
chapter 1.
all these verses we just read were to, just a detailed further explanation of that 5th verse.
Hmm.
Then let's see what the next verse is here.
ষষ্ঠ শ্লোকের অর্থ করিতে প্রকাশ প্রথমে কহিয়ে সেই শ্লোকের আভাস
To explain the 6th verse, I shall first give a hint of its meaning. Does anybody remember the 6th verse? I mean, that was probably a long time ago, but it's after the 5th verse. The 6th verse is the one where it says to experience the wonders of Srimati Radharani's love, the qualities in him that evoke that love, and the happiness she feels when he reciprocates her love. Those he's come in the as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So
Should I pull it up? Should I pull it up? Okay.
We're gonna go. We'll go a few more. I think I'm supposed to only go to 104, but I want to go to 105 if it's okay. All
Okay.
right. I have to, because I saw that Balabhadra Prabhu is on the next time. But anyway.
I can make a change for him, but don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
অবতরী প্রভু প্রচারিল সংকীর্তন এহ বাহ্য হেতু পূর্বে করিয়াছি সূচন
The Lord came to propagate Sankirtana. That is an external purpose, as I have already indicated.
অবতারের আর এক আছে মুখ্য বীজ রসিক শেখর কৃষ্ণের সেই কার্য নিজ
There is a principal cause for Lord Krishna's appearance. It grows from his own engagements as the foremost enjoyer of loving exchanges. That's the word here for the foremost enjoyer of mellows of love. That's Rasik Shekhar. I think some devotees have that name, Rasik Shekhar. So his Lord Krishna is enjoying. He's the foremost enjoyer, right? Next.
অতি গুঢ় হেতু সেই ত্রিবিধ প্রকার দামোদর স্বরূপ হইতে যাহার প্রচার
That most confidential cause is threefold. Swarup Damodar has revealed it. So there's a confidential cause, but there's three aspects of that confidential cause that are related. Okay, next.
স্বরূপ গোসাই প্রভুর অতি অন্তরঙ্গ তাহাতে জানেন প্রভুর এসব প্রসঙ্গ
Swarup Goshai is the most intimate associate of the Lord. He therefore knows all these topics well. Purport. Prior to the Lord's acceptance of the renounced order, Purushottam Bhattacharya, a resident of Navadvip, desired to enter the renounced order of life. Therefore, he left home and went to Benares, where he accepted the position of brahmacharya from a Mayavadi sannyasi. When he became a brahmachari, he was given the name Sri Damodar Swarup. He left Benares shortly thereafter without taking sannyas, and he came to Nilachal, Jagannath Puri, where Lord Chaitanya was staying. He met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there and dedicated his life for the service of the Lord. He became Lord Chaitanya's secretary and constant companion. He used to enhance the pleasure potency of the Lord by singing appropriate songs, which were very much appreciated. Swarup Damodar could understand the secret mission of Lord Chaitanya, and it was by his grace that only that all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya could know the real purpose of the Lord. Swarup Damodar has been identified as Lalita Devi, the second expansion of Radharani. However, text 160 of Kavi Karnapur's authoritative Gauda Gunadesh Deepika describes Swarup Damodar as the same Vishaka Devi who serves the Lord in Goloka Vrindavan. Therefore, it is to be understood that Sri Swarup Damodar is a direct expansion of Radharani, who helps the Lord experience the attitude of Radharani. Okay. So, any comments or questions about this?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to the Prabhupada. So, Purushottam Bhattacharya is the one that became Swarup Damodar.
Yes.
And Swarup Damodar is said that he is Lalita Devi. And now it's been described that the same Swarup Damodar is Vishaka Devi, who serves the Lord in Goloka Vrindavan. So I heard a lecture by Sri Radhanath Maharaj, and he called Swarup Damodar as Lalita. And then on the internet, I've seen Swarup Damodar called Vishaka. And now this paragraph is talking about it. So it's interesting. It becomes difficult to tell the identity of this. So can you comment on this? Lalita and Vishaka, I thought they are two personalities.
Yes, they are two personalities. So apparently there's evidence for each. So when you go to Goloka Vrindavan, or not just you, but anyone here goes, then you can decide for yourself, or you'll see. How does Srila Prabhupada resolve? How does he resolve the dilemma? He just says, therefore, it is understood that Sri Swarup Damodar is a direct expansion of Radharani. So he does that. So Lalita is a direct expansion, and Vishaka is a direct expansion. Either one. So he's not taking a side there. Isn't that interesting? So it could be either one. Whichever one you choose, he's an incredibly exalted, direct expansion of Srimati Radharani, incredibly intimate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And, certain things we may not know. So apparently there's evidence for both, but what are we going to do? I have no further comment on that.
Yeah.
That's
it is also a situation that happens as to where Maharaj Parikshit left, when he left his kingdom, which river he went to. It said Ganga.
It's sometimes called the Ganga, the Ganga, but Jiva Goswami said it's the Jamuna. Because and then at the time of Shukadev Goswami speaking, that the Jamuna was considered a part of the Ganga. So therefore in the verse it's Ganga. There's a purport, Prabhupada. So yeah, there's another thing here about Swarup Damodar Goswami, that it says that let's look at the first part of the paragraph, the first part of the purport there. Prior to the Lord's acceptance of the renounced order, Purushottam Bhattacharya, a resident of Navadvip, desired to enter the renounced order of life. Therefore, he left home and went to Benares. So when did he leave home and go to Benares?
Well, when he wanted to be sannyas, but it doesn't say what time though.
Right. It seems from this, you could deduct from this first part of the purport that he went to Benares prior to the Lord's acceptance of sannyas, right?
Does it? I don't know.
The two sentences are there together. But if you look later in the Madhya Lila, chapter 10, there's
I see
verses
your point.
about Swarup Damodar, and I'll just read them. This is an interesting point. When Swarup Damodar was residing in Navadvip under the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his name was, what do you think? Purushottamacharya, right?
Yeah.
After seeing that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the renounced order, Purushottamacharya became like a madman and immediately went to Varanasi to take sannyas. You see, so it's not really clear here in these first two lines when he did, but according to the Madhya Lila later, we say it's clarified that he didn't actually go to Benares until after Lord Chaitanya took sannyas. He became like a madman. At the conclusion of his sannyas, his spiritual master Chaitanyananda ordered him read Vedanta Sutra and teach it to others. Swarup Damodar was a great renunciate as well as a great scholar, and with heart and soul he took shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. He was very enthusiastic to worship Sri Krishna, which is the point of Vedanta, right? He was very enthusiastic to worship Sri Krishna without disturbance. Therefore, it was almost in madness that he accepted the sannyas order. So here it says that he he was given the name, and shortly without taking sannyas, he came to Nilachala. Okay, so there's a little detail on this part also, a little detail. Upon accepting sannyas, this is again Madhya Lila chapter 10. Upon accepting sannyas, Purushottamacharya followed the regulative principles by giving up his tuft of hair, that's shika, and sacred thread, but he did not accept the saffron-colored dress. Also, he did not accept a sannyasi title, but remained a Naishtik brahmachari. So here, the purport, Prabhupada says, there are regulative principles governing the renounced order. One has to perform 8 kinds of shrad. That's an offering to the ancestors. One must offer oblations to one's forefathers and perform the sacrifice of Viraja Homa. Then one must cut off the tuft of hair called the shika and also give up the sacred thread. These are the preliminary processes in the acceptance of sannyas, and Swarup Damodar accepted all these. However, Purushottamacharya did not accept the saffron dress, a sannyasi name, or a danda. He retained his brahmachari name. Actually, Purushottamacharya did not accept the sannyas order formally. But he renounced worldly life. He did not want to be disturbed by the formality of the sannyas order. He simply wanted to worship the Lord Sri Krishna without disturbance. Therefore, with heart and soul, he took up the renounced order, but not the formalities accompanying it. Renunciation means that not doing anything but serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. When one acts on this platform, trying only to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one is both a sannyasi and a yogi, as Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Maybe you know the verse. Anashrita karma palam, karyam karma karotiya, sasannyasi cha yogi cha, na niragni na chakriya. The Blessed Lord said, one who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life, and he is the true mystic, not he who lights no fire or performs no work. So, clarification here about Swarup Damodar Goswami. So he took up he underwent some of the processes of sannyas, but didn't follow through on all of them. Why?
He didn't want the formality of it.
He didn't want to be disturbed by having to do all that part. He just wanted to serve Krishna without interruption. Anyway,
I have a question still.
yeah, sure.
So he didn't, but as let me accept the formalities that come with sannyas, the sannyas
All the
order.
formalities. He accepted some, but not all. Yeah.
Okay. Some of it, when you were reading, mentioned having the cutoff seeker. The Brahman thread, was that what I heard? That has to be taken. So my question is, in ISKCON now, do sannyasis wear or not wear the Brahman thread? Do they?
They wear the Brahman thread. They keep the shika.
Okay.
So Swarup Damodar, remember that Swarup Damodar, he's accepting sannyas in Benares, which is a Mayavadi center. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he accepted sannyas, did he keep his shika or did he keep his shika?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
No, he didn't.
He
He did not. I don't think he did.
He didn't.
Oh.
Although Srila Prabhupada in the paintings, we have him, Lord Chaitanya, with a Sika and a Brahman thread.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's on the influence of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur showed the Vedic verses which say that a Vaishnav sannyasi can keep the Shika and Brahman thread. Whereas the Mayavadi sannyasis, it was at this time particularly, they would give up the Shika and Brahman thread. So therefore, because of that, the Vaishnav sannyasis, not only in ISKCON but also Gaudiya Math sannyasis, also they keep the Shika and Brahman thread, and they have the danda and all that stuff, all those things. Good question. Very interesting point. So Swarup Damodar, he's called here Goshai or Goshami, says the renunciant, but he didn't complete all the formalities of the sannyas order, but the most important formality, or the most important activity he did, which was to dedicate his life to the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is the real meaning of sannyas. Sannyas means, so sometimes Srila Prabhupada, when, like for example, there was a devotee named Hansadutta. You remember Hansadutta? Anybody know? Anyway, he was a Grihastha, but he was a GBC, and he wanted to take sannyas. And Prabhupada would repeatedly say, you're already a sannyas. You don't need to take a formal sannyas. Because you're anashrita, and he quoted this verse, anashrita karma palam. Don't be attached, not being attached to the fruits of his work, and work as you're obligated, which is to engage fully in the devotional service of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sasannyasi, that's a sannyasi. So according to Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita, Swarup Damodar is a sannyasi, even though he didn't complete all the rituals of the sannyas order. That makes sense?
Yeah, it's basically renunciation, though, to be a sannyasi. That is the bottom line.
Own. Yes.
Yeah, that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. I just wanted to finish that point.
One more question, and this is just I'm waiting for confirmation. I'm not looking at the time; it's also already 9 o'clock. But anyway, I've heard, and I don't know where I heard this from, but I've heard that Lord Chaitanya took sannyas from the Mayavadi because at that time Mayavad they were more popular. Is it because of that?
Well, not just popular. That he decided that he was going to take sannyas. I mean, his spiritual master Ishwara Puri was still present on the earth at the time. But at the time, yes, it's said that because that was the people were accepting. Primarily, people were thinking of sannyas as being following the Shankara Sampradaya. He did that. Of course, it's described in the Chaitanya Bhagavat that at the time of his sannyas, Lord Chaitanya first gave the sannyas mantra. He said, "Is this the mantra that you're going to use?" And then he said the sannyas mantra into the ear of Keshav Bharati, who was his sannyas guru. So, in effect, Lord Chaitanya first initiated Keshava Bharati by hearing the mantra, and then Keshava Bharati gave him that mantra.
So it wasn't a sannyas, it wasn't a Mayavad mantra then.
No, it's not a Mayavad mantra. It's a
Lord Chaitanya, only God can do something like this.
Yes, yeah. He
Yeah.
he gave the sannyas mantra first to Keshava Bharati, and Keshava Bharati, he was very. He said, according to the Chaitanya Bhagavat, he said, what can I do? You're the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He knew that, even though he was coming, he was in the Shankara Sampradaya. There were people in the Shankara Sampradaya that had devotional understanding, So Keshava Bharati was such a person, even though he was coming in the line of the Shankaracharyas.
The Shankara himself had that understanding anyway, as he was a supreme personality. So.
Yes. So it's interesting because, like, even in Islam, which is primarily, they have the idea of God being impersonal, no form. But in the history of Islam, according to historians of Islam, there was a time early on in Islam, in the 1,000 years ago, when there was a whole section of Islam where they accepted God had a personal form. And Lord Chaitanya in the Adi Lila, when he's traveling, he leaves Vrindavan, he cites those parts of the Quran that describe the form of God. So in the course of history, sometimes the interpretation gets emphasized one way and sometimes in a different way. What one thing is emphasized. So during the time of Shankaracharya, and therefore the impersonal aspect was emphasized much more. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the impersonal aspect is God, but there's three aspects of God: Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavani Shabdyate. So beginning with Ramanujacharya and Madhvacharya, and then coming through Lord Chaitanya, the personal form of the Lord has been especially emphasized. To that way, there's devotion. It's very difficult to serve an impersonal energy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just wanted to get to this part because the purport seems a little bit, this purport here about Purushottam Bhattacharya, you could take it that it's not consistent with the later information about Swarup Damodar, but it is actually consistent, but we just have to understand it properly. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, this has been a really deep class.
Absolutely.
Too deep for us. Yeah.
Pretty impressive, but really deep, and connecting the dots, as they say. Thank you so much for such a wonderful class. Devotees, if you have other questions, you can jump right in. If not, if while you're meditating on the class throughout the day, if you have a question, please, you're most welcome to send it to me, and I can ask Vishnugada Prabhu to clarify your question. And I encourage devotees to hear this class again. It's really deep, really deep. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for your time. And we thank all the devotees for joining us. Wonderful questions. And thank you, Radhapal Prabhu, for reading the Bengali verse.
Yeah. That was nice. I appreciate that, Radhapal Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, because I'm out of town. Right now, I'm with my family in Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah.
So we come to the right time or no, Prabhu?
No, it's fine because here it is 3 hours late. So.
Okay.
6 o'clock.
So you're up? Yeah. So you
he's up
just
in the
turned
morning.
6 o'clock now.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Thank you so much for reading the verse. It's so nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is my fortune to read.
Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Hari Bol.
This is recorded on YouTube, so go back and hear it there too if you want to. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Thank you. Hari Bol. Have a wonderful day.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hari Bol.
Krishna. Jai Shri Ram.